Good evening and salutations, my GH fans. So, here's the thing. There really wasn't a lot that was actually going on in this episode. I'm gonna be really honest with you. Um, so this is kind of gonna be more of an off the cuff kind of review, because I mean, again, I think I'm gonna pretty much kind of cover everything. So, Maxie is defending Peter to Robert, and they're going back and forth, and Maxie's like, listen, you're never gonna see him the way I see him, but you can treat him with a monocle of respect. Just be civil at this point. And Robert's like, listen, I'm just not gonna see him the way you see him, and I don't really know what to tell you. And honestly, to tell you the truth, at this point, he just kind of just walks off. I think he just didn't want to get into an argument with Maxine. And let's see. Ava, talks to Elizabeth a little bit, and Ava's like, Nicholas is lonely. Our marriage isn't working. Surprise, surprise. But Nicholas is lonely. He got back everything that he wanted, and yet no one's really happy for him. And Elizabeth is all like, oh, well, he did this to himself, so he has nobody to blame, and, he has nobody to blame for him, for himself except for him. And granted, it's not like she doesn't have a point, but I don't know. It just came across as a bit preachy. Even when she was Smith is saying it, I felt like, the look on her face, like she knew that she was coming across as a bit preaching. But, so, here's the thing. The whole party gets started, and, everyone comes into the room, and, starts trying to pull down the string. I don't know what the hell's changed, but the last time that I used to do those things, we used to beat the piano. Okay, now they're just pulling strings. Okay, whatever. So everyone is pulling a string or whatever. And you got Charlotte that's just like, she keeps making these faces like, who's gonna get it, who's gonna get the the snake on them and stuff like that. And she's worried, but at the same time, there's times where she looks excited. So I'm like, I don't know how I'm supposed to feel. Anyway, so everyone pulls it and nothing happens. And it's kind of weird because at the end of the episode, Violet's the last person that pulls it and nothing happens. So I'm like, what the hell is going on? So Ava goes to pick up her purse or whatever. I guess she wants to take a picture of Avery, digging for the candy and stuff like that. And then she starts screaming and the snake comes out. Okay. Grant, here's the thing. Didn't she put the snake and didn't she put the snake in the piñata? So and granted, I watched it, so I don't understand how it teleported from the piñata to her purse. And the thing that's a little weird is because it's like, Alessis wasn't planned, because, Charlotte put the snake in the piñata, and she kept sitting there cringing left and right, depending on which child was going to get the snake on them. And the snake is in Ava's purse, and she starts laughing and giggling, and I'm like, okay, I felt like that was kind of a mistake on somebody's part. Let's see. Chase and Willow goes for a walk. They have their usual talk of Michael and Nell. And, towards the end of the conversation, Chase is like, listen, you need to marry Michael because I know you and I know you can't, here's the thing, you can live with yourself if Nell had custody of that child. You just couldn't live with yourself. And I'm not gonna sit there and do that to you. Okay, cool. So he's finally on board. He's reluctantly on board with Willow marrying Michael. Now, on the other side of this, conversation, you have Sasha, Michael, and Carly. And Carly's like, they're brainstorming and stuff like that. Carly's like, you need to marry Willow. At first, they have a conversation, and Michael's like, listen, I can't go in that courtroom and badmouth her. I can't sit there and tell the judge everything that she did because it's going to make her look sympathetic. Also, it's not like he didn't do his bit of dirt too. I mean, it was one thing, but that one thing led to involuntary manslaughter. So, he can't really go and do that. He has to sit there and show that he's a better parent and a better person and better light, all that good stuff. So, Carly's like, listen, you need to marry Willow. And I think they just kind of close out the chapter on that part. And, of course, Sasha agrees. She's the one that's not there pushing for this. And so now everyone is pushing for Michael and Willow to get married. But, here's the thing for most people that may not understand. Most people do. But in case you don't. Here's the thing. They can't just get married in like a week and then just go back. They can't get married in a month and be like, all right, cool. And they can't get married and start sneaking off to their, significant others. They need to actually act the part. So, we're going to see how that plays out. And, there's not really that much to this episode. There's a lot of flashbacks that happen. Peter pretty much is just like, listen, I need you to, he's on his phone doing his, his dirty deeds or whatever. And he's like, on the phone, he's like, yo, that distraction? Yeah, make it happen. That's it. So I'm looking forward to whatever this distraction is going to be. My guess is going to be a woman because nothing distracts a man more than a woman. Pause. Okay, 3 more things happen. So, Jason, I think this is the second part maybe. Jason talks to his son Danny in front of Sam, and Jason's like, listen, I have to be away from you for a while. And at first, Danny's like, is it because of the parole, because of, mom's parole? And Jason's like, yeah, it's part of it. He doesn't want to sit there and say it's because of Cyrus, and Cyrus is going to target, the family because of, Jason's line of work. So he kind of skirts over that. He's just like, yeah, that and, just choices that I made in my life. I'm like, okay. So, that pretty much kind of ends that. I think he hugs his son and then tells him to go back to the party, and that just kind of ends that. And then Jason goes to Sunny, and Jason and Sunny have, their strategy meeting. Well, no. Jason has a strategy meeting because Cyrus calls, and Cyrus like, I want a meeting, I want a meeting with Sunny. So he doesn't call Sunny directly. He calls Jason as a go-between, mostly because of the fact that Jason is very level-headed, and Sunny is, well, Sunny. So, they're brainstorming and stuff like that. And, the important question that really comes up is, Sunny's like, well, if you're Cyrus, what do you think, you should do? And, Jason's like, listen, he lost money. He's just got out of jail. If he's going to make a shot at you, he can't miss. So most likely, he's probably just going to play it cool. And, then somebody brings up, I can't remember which one, but somebody brings up the fact that Jordan, is in Cyrus's pocket. And, pretty much it's going to give him access to land different shipments and stuff like that. And, here's the thing. It's going to be, Cyrus is playing a long game. From what Sunny described, Cyrus is playing a long game. The longer, Cyrus lands the shipments, Sunny can't stop him because, Cyrus has Jordan in his pocket. you know, overtime is going to do some damage to Sunny's business. So that's pretty much the long game that Cyrus is going to play. This is, you know, my interpretation of, you know, this is from what Sunny is saying. And there was three things. There was I just want to make sure that I didn't forget anything. But I mean, to be honest, this is another forgettable episode where just not a lot of stuff happened. Monday's episode, they're gonna, you know, just to kind of give you a preview of that, they show, you know, okay, so towards the end, that's what it was. So towards the end, you know, Robert's like, you know, he has to duck out. He asks Olivia to cover for him. Robert decides to go to Maxie's house to break in to see if he can find some evidence on Peter. Now, somebody opens the door, and, you know, Robert's like, oh, shit. And then they showed the previews, and it was Spinelli. And, you know, Robert and Spinelli's like, you know, Robert's like, listen, you're trying to get dirt on Peter. I'm trying to get dirt on Peter. Why don't we just work together? And that was pretty much about it. Again, there was a lot of fluff. There was a lot of flashbacks. And I mean a lot of flashbacks. There was when Carly was talking to Michael about Nell, you know, using him for a bargain chip, this, that, and the third. There was a ton of flashbacks with Nell and Carly and Michael and stuff like that. And then when Peter was talking to Maxie, there was tons of flashbacks between them. And I'm like, this is like going on for like a minute or two. And I'm like, guys, so at this point the reviews or the recap is minute over. And so, you know, just my final thoughts on this episode, you know, it's just, it was a lot of padding, there was a lot of flashbacks, and I felt like there was just pretty much nothing that really happened. The flashbacks just kind of just fucking killed me, because they just seemed like they just went on forever. Anyway, that's gonna do it for this recap of GH. Sorry it came out a little bit late. I had to take care of some stuff earlier. But yeah. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for watching these recaps and these reviews and stuff like that. Really appreciate it. Really appreciate all the comments and just likes and all that good stuff. Thank you for supporting the channel. And again, I got to give a shout out to my guy Brock TV for, you know, just, you know, sending some views my way. I really appreciate that. Great guy. He's another guy that does reviews on GH. I used to watch his reviews. I still watch his reviews every now and then. So shout out to that guy. Anyway, have a great day, a great night, depending on when you're watching this video. Be safe. Wash your goddamn hands, like I say in every video. And I will see you in the next recap.